am I dropping so many?
I can't even believe you're not playing ranked labs right now.
Why aren't you playing ranked labs? Runeterrable Radio, the home of ranked labs.
Ranked labs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Runeterrable Radio. I am your host, Blevins. With me, as always, is Saucy Mailman. What's up, buddy?
Hey, it's me.
It's you, and we've got
Ranked labs.
We've got ranked labs coming out. We're not. You may think we're talking about Targon and Set 3, Call of the Mountain.
Real stuff.
You would be wrong. We're talking about the ranked labs ladder. Just kidding. That's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Right? It's not a thing? Because if it is, I'm going to stop the show and start playing it.
Nope. It's not this time. But some Twitch viewers would lead you to believe that that is, in fact, a thing.
Send us your ranked lab decks, please.
Yeah, give me what's the best list for ranked labs right now? Because I'm a fan of Turn 1 Dreadway.
I feel like that format would actually would almost be semi-interesting for about 20 minutes to like actually have that be a constructed format, but
yeah.
We'll probably talk about labs throughout the course of the show, but Saucy, in all reality, we do have new cards to talk about, and we got Targon, we've got what's today? Wednesday? We have 2 days. How many days? We have 2 days worth of cards, right? Started
Today's
yesterday.
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
12th.
Yeah.
So
and everything
we
started
got a
on
couple bit Monday.
Wait.
Right?
Am I missing?
No, Tuesday.
stuff?
Wait, what?
Now I'm confusing myself. We've had 2 days. We've had 3 days of stuff.
Cards.
Oh, right. Okay, we got the announcement of Targon on Monday. Then we got cards on Tuesday, and then we got more cards today. Okay, that's why I was confusing myself. It's the third day of the week, but we've only gotten 2 days worth of cards. Okay.
Yeah.
We have those cards, and we're going to talk about them because they're awesome. But if you've been living under a rock, maybe that rock was Mount Targon, because that's where we're going. The new set is called Call of the Mountain, and it is specifically the new set, and we're going to be getting the first expansion of that set on August 26th. Right? Yeah, yep. August 26th or 24th, one of those, whatever the day is that week. We're getting it on that day, the next patch. And it is a 3 expansion set. They put out their roadmap and sort of showed how they're going to be doing the sets and expansions and all of that. So all really cool stuff. And it's it's kind of a lot different than what we would normally see for like a Magic the Gathering set or even a Hearthstone. Even Hearthstone expansions don't really do this format. So I'm curious, Saucy, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've always been like I enjoy having. I would rather have smaller buckets of stuff more often. Just getting more new stuff always just shakes up the game and makes it feel more interesting. And that wasn't a word. Interesting is a word, though.
Interesting.
Ingrisstring.
Ingrisstring. That's the name of our band. Ingrisstring. Idris Kringle, the great grandfather of Kris Kringle, the father of Christmas. I don't know why we're making up weird.
Target.
There we go. It all ties back together.
Yep.
Idris Kringle.
No, it always I would rather it do that than like 2 expansions a year with stuff. Like
yes.
I'd rather just get more stuff doesn't shake up the meta more, right?
Right.
So a dumping of 200 cards isn't going to be more like, oh, things are so much more fun than if they just give you, a smaller amount. So
yeah,
that's how I feel. I'd rather them, spread it across. I know no matter what they do, they could give everyone $1,000 free to their account. People would bitch.
That's
I've been
true.
hearing so much complaining. Like no matter what, like, oh, we want cards now. Well, the cards you gave me aren't my favorite champion,
Right.
so now I'm mad.
It is kind of crazy to see the Twitter verse and Reddit verse and everywhere verse just be like, oh my god, how come we're waiting so long for spoilers? To, oh, we got spoilers. Oh my god, how come they showed us these spoilers? And how come these cards are broken or these cards are terrible? It's funny. I mean, I guess this is just inherent to spoiler season, right? And I think it was Cosign Joe that posted the picture that's just like, this is gonna be a shitstorm like on both sides. Like, no matter what, people are upset about the spoilers in some way. And you know what? That's fine. But to talk about I agree with you entirely. I think this is really great because we've all experienced it, even with Runeterra and with other games especially. The best and most fun, the most competitive time, the time that you have the most exhilaration to play any new game that's like a card game like Legends of Runeterra is the first 2 to 3 weeks after the expansion, right?
Oh, it's so good.
It's so fun. It's so good. And we've been, I will say, we've been very privileged with the fact that even up until the recent weeks, we're still seeing new decks come out in Runeterra, new, and not just, I mean, Saucy, you are a master of meme decks. You're coming up with new decks that are playable and are getting wins, but we're even seeing new decks that are at the pinnacle of competitive play. We saw a Swain Lux deck that didn't do amazingly, but was good enough to actually play at the highest levels in tournaments right now. And it's have we seen Swain Lux at all? No. Have we seen Harrowing Ezreal before last week or a week and a half ago? Maybe fringely, but not at the fact that tier 1 or 1.5 decks are springing up at the level that they are in Runeterra is something that if you come from Magic or Hearthstone or any other card game that I'm familiar with, that is almost unheard of. And I just, when we talked with Jeff last week, we just want to say, if you're a native Runeterra person, that's great. There's no problem with that. But, just know how good you got it. You whippersnappers need to know how good you got it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there'd been, playing Hearthstone, there were times where I went, 2 months with only seeing 3 decks on ladder. And that, and there's so we're gonna talk about cards, but I'm gonna say a couple things here.
Yeah.
The very first spoilers that went out, I had people messaging me Twitter DMs. This is a broken card. It's going to ruin the game. End quote.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, 1, it's not true, but 2, if X card was that good, Riot would patch it.
Right. We've seen that happen.
Yeah, we've seen mid-patch balance changes. We've seen they don't let it get to that because we're in a purely digital game where they care about the game.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we literally, and this was a distinction that I actually wasn't aware of until Ruben Zoo went on Swim and Mogwai and Panda's show Progress Day when the new patch came out, or the big balance patch came out. When he went on, I didn't realize that Ruben Zoo, his job is he's not the lead of design. He's the lead of live balance.
Yeah.
Excuse me. His job is literally to, once the cards are out in the open and we're playing with them, to take the feedback of players and see the play rates and play patterns and come up with either justifications for that or see what needs to be changed. That's something that doesn't exist in Magic because it can't exist, right? Unless you're erratating cards, but that is just that just doesn't happen. You can't send someone to go and say, all right, everyone, mail in your Okos. We're going to change the plus to a minus. We're just going to erase that for you. And you can't do that. Once it's printed on a piece of cardboard, it is that way forever.
That'd be so funny. Can you all mail us your goblin guides? We need to.
Yeah, we're going to make it a 1-2 instead. Or we're going to make it a 2-1.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But yeah, it's something that we are fortunate to get with this game.
Yeah.
And they employ people specifically to do this. So if you're it's easier to complain than to be excited about things,
Right.
apparently. But if you're one of those gloom and doom for every effing card you see, just go. It's okay. Things are fine. We haven't
Yeah.
seen a fraction of the set yet, so the first 4 cards you saw aren't going to break the entire game.
Right.
Let's wait till we at least see the whole thing, the whole picture, and then we can complain.
Yeah, I mean, this happens every time, right? And I get it. With every game, yeah. I get it. Like, you want to go off your knee-jerk reaction, and you want your Twitter retweets, and you want people to see your Reddit posts like that, and that's fine, and I get it, and it's all in good fun at the end of the day. But it is like, if you want to think about it objectively, we'll just talk about the card now. It's called Bastion, and it has the new keyword called Spell Shield, which nullifies the next enemy spell or skill that would affect this unit. So Bastion is a 3-mana burst spell that gives an ally Spell Shield this round. So I think a lot of people's knee-jerk reaction was like, oh man, this is like 3-mana burst to die. If you target a unit, this is Fizz's ability on a stick. This is insane. We're gonna break everything. And it's like, this is much more like Prismatic Barrier than Fizz's ability. Like,
now it is. I love that this keyword. I think it's really cool. I think it's pretty elegantly designed. And a couple things, because I've gotten some questions from people off air. So it does only affect enemy skills and spells. So you don't have to worry about like when you buff your stuff, so you won't accidentally like trigger your spell shield.
It's hexproof,
like
not shroud. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So and it doesn't counter the spell. Like the spell still goes through. It just doesn't do anything to the unit. So Ezreal things still proc. And things like Ruination. The spell still happens, but it's just that specific unit doesn't die.
Yeah.
So that some people are like, this is gonna counter Ruination completely. Like, it doesn't counter it, but it does give us play around. Like, if we're in a meta where everyone's playing 43 copies of Ruination, like suddenly this becomes very intriguing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very interesting just to see the like play patterns and like the discussions around cards and card games in general. Because people are like, oh, well, I want there to be more interaction in the game. And I think that is one of the beautiful things about Runeterrable is that there's so much interaction. And then we get a card like this, which is like inherently adding more interaction. I can interact with the stuff that you're playing. I'm not just cold to Ruination now. I have a card. It's like, oh, but this counters Ruination. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point of the card, right? Like, you know,
it's sweet. Like when you do have that key combo piece that you need to keep alive, like, it's awesome. I don't think this is the type of card where you just windmill slam 3 copies of it no matter what.
No.
Unless it's the first day of the expansion, because that's just what we do.
Well, yeah, keyword search, spell shield, add cards, move on.
But it is good. Like if you're having a very, unit centric thing you're trying to do, like it's great.
Yeah,
it doesn't care about combat damage because it doesn't change damage that happens on units.
Does not change combat damage. I think and maybe this is a bold, I'll just do it. I'm going to start it, and people in Discord and the listeners at home will probably hold my feet to the fire when this doesn't prove out. But let's start tallying some bold predictions, Saucy.
Love it. Let's be the bold prediction.
Yeah, cast. let's be bold. We're bold predictions. We are the Bold Predictions podcast. That's what we're changing the name of the show to. My bold prediction here, Saucy, is that this card will be played. I'm trying to think of a reasonable time frame. Okay, so this card before the first part of my bold prediction is that this card won't be changed at all. This will not be nerfed. This won't be nerfed like Deny. That's part of it. But I also will say that this card will see less play in meta decks, we'll say before the first big balance patch than Prismatic Barrier. That's my bold prediction. Yeah. I think that this card, it certainly is different from Prismatic Barrier, and it does obviously a different thing, but I think in general, the ability to impact combat and to still counter, like, it doesn't counter Vengeance, sure, but like, how often is that the most relevant thing? I think that people are overestimating how often that is. I think that this card will be played less. Bastion will be played less than Prismatic Barrier. That's my prediction.
My bold prediction is that this is going to let me play Unyielding Spirit more.
The old 11 mana. Make sure it goes through.
Yep. So that's happening. That is going to happen. It's really cool though. I'm excited to see other things that have this keyword. Like if we get some things that provide this on a stick, like the 3/2 Demacia guy that gives barrier.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, those will be quite strong.
Maybe. I still think that even if there is just a straight up 2 mana 3/2, when you play it, it gives a unit spell shield. I think that card would be way worse than the divine or the not divine shield barrier one.
Could be.
I think so. Just because I think people are massively overestimating how strong this ability is in general. Because it's
I feel like anytime anything has burst, people start like getting angry at it, no matter what the card's effect is. It could be like 3 mana burst, give a dude +1/+1. Like,
right.
That's strong. Like I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Burst spells make people really mad, and then they're like, "Oh, but with Ezreal, this is more spells to combo off with."
You're not wrong. And
Ezreal,
like, I mean, here's the thing. Ezreal has a lot of decks that he's good in. I'm thinking, with the exception of Demacia, I think that there's an iteration of Ezreal in every other combination that is playable at a relatively high level.
We've been seeing all the Shadow Isles ones now. We've seen the Freljord one do good.
Noxus, multiple flavors of Noxus. Of course, Karma Ez,
And we saw that one just recently come back. The Draven Ezreal deck has made a resurgence again. It's been played quite a bit.
Draven Ez and Swain Ezreal has been quite good too. And then of course Twisted Fate Ezreal. I would be surprised if they make a region and if Ezreal is in the same form that he is today, that they'd be hard pressed to not be good for Ezreal, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think just from we're gonna talk about these in a bit. I think actually Ezreal could fit quite well in a Mount Targon deck with all of these gems. I think that's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the gems. So we got
Big Daddy T.
We got Big Daddy T-Bone Tarika Tarek. He is a 4 mana 2/4. He's a support unit, and we'll see Targon at the very least has a sub theme of support because there's a lot of support units so far. He has support, and he gives the ally that he supports and himself tough this round when he supports them, and he also copies the last spell that targeted only him onto that ally. So if you play a Fury of the North on Tarek, and then you support a unit, that unit will also get a Fury of the North. And then he flips when you've seen, or when he has seen, right? They made this Twitter picture so small I can't read.
It's when I've seen you target or support.
Yeah, when Tarek is seen, you target or support allies 7 times. He flips, then it becomes a 3/5, and instead of giving himself and the unit he supports tough, he instead gives them Unyielding Spirit until the end of round, and then also still has the same copy ability. So I think there's a lot of options for what you can do with that. I mean, the level 1 is his champion spell, which is Tarek's Blessing of Targon, which grants an ally +3/+3. And notably here, Saucy, Grant doesn't go away. Grant is forever.
Yep, it stays there. So what's cool, this is something that I was talking to Blevins earlier. I don't remember if we've had this conversation on the podcast. I feel like we have. But the reason that support is bad is there's no real payoff for playing support. There's no reason to. So this both gives you a lot of incentive to play support, which I think is cool, but just never really works. But also to play buffs, because buffs are difficult in a game where you can play vengeances and all that.
Yep.
So now we have more reasons to buff, and this can fit in a lot of different, themes, a bunch of different, sub themes. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's super sick.
He seems really good. Someone on Twitter pointed out, and I'm assuming it works this way. Tarek with Playful Trickster just goes infinite, right? Like you attack with Tarek and support a unit, then you play Playful Trickster on him. Tarek gets removed, and then you rally. You attack again. Tarek supports a unit. That unit gets a Playful Trickster played on them. Maybe it doesn't. Does it? Yeah, no, because it does it. No, maybe it isn't infinite. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I guess it would stop after that, right? Does it go on him too? No.
You'd have to have a third unit on the stack. Does support happen before or after spells? Because you'd have to attack, then you cast the spell. The spell should happen, and then the support, right?
The spell happens. No, now I don't know. Now I don't know.
Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't work. Because the support would copy the first spell you've cast on him.
Well, yeah.
Umbridge.
Well, no, okay, no. This is how it works. Okay, no, it does work.
Okay.
I've thought about this all day and I kept confusing myself. So here's how it works. Tarek, let's say you've got. I'm just gonna say you have 3 units and your opponent has nothing. Just to make this easy.
This is how it always happens.
Tarek, 100%. Tarek attacks with and supports another unit. You cast Playful Trickster onto Tarek.
Okay.
Whether you'd actually kind of hope that the Playful Trickster doesn't get copied onto the unit originally, right? Because you'll remove them from combat and you'll have 2 rally tokens, which doesn't matter, right? So the Tarek gets removed from combat and you deal whatever damage, right? And you rally because of Playful Trickster. You then attack with Tarek and support a unit, right? When you support, Tarek will copy the first spell that was cast on only him, which is Playful Trickster.
Yeah.
So
that would
attacks.
rally.
It would remove the supported unit, and then Tarek would attack, and you'd rally. Then you'd attack again, and lather, rinse, repeat, because it keeps copying every time. That's at least how I think it would work, right? Because Tarek,
in theory,
it doesn't say anything about it only working the first time, right? But who knows? So we'll see. But yeah, Tarek is really cool.
And what makes it better is Tarek's level 2.
Yes.
When he does level up, is he makes it to where him and his supported ally can't take damage or die this round. So if you can, in theory, infinitely support and like rally with him, and your 2 dudes not die,
right? You're just gonna get through, right? Unless you have like they have a tough unit and you only have a 1 attack. But even then, like Tarek is still
you just do it a long time.
You just keep doing it over and over again. I love that is a possibility. I hope that it works that way, because that is the cool thing, because it's like it's a combo. It's kind of clunky. You can probably optimize it and make it all right. But it's not like super broken, and it takes some time, and there's a lot of interaction with it, but it is a strong combo. I'm hoping that it works like that.
Yeah. All right. So are we going to see some Tarek mooses from you?
Well, the problem is that you are pretty limited unless they print a moose. I guess Mountain Goat is kind of like a moose.
Yeah.
I'll play him. Mountain Goat's a 2-mana 3/1. When he strikes, you create a gem in hand. That's what we were alluding to earlier, Saucy. Gems are 1-mana burst spells that say heal an ally for 1 and grant, again, permanent, it +1/+0. This spell can't be cast in combat or in response to a spell. So it's like a pseudo slow spell, but it can't be interacted with, right?
I like that. So this is something very interesting, and I think it's something we need to talk about as a card that they specifically put this, because we've talked about the speeds of spells, and there's a lot of spells where like, man, this shouldn't be fast, but it feels bad at burst. And so this not being able to be used as a combat trick of it is like essentially because you can't use it in response and you can't use it during combat. So you have to play it otherwise, but you can't like deny the effect and it still happens. So for things like Ezreal, you're still going to get your blast off.
Sure are.
Yep. And so it's very cool. I think it's very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm the only thing I'm not in love about or I'm not in love with about it is the formatting of it. It's just a little clunky, but that's just purely UI or not even UI. It's just kind of clunky. I almost like I don't want them to make like a I don't even know. This would be like a sorcery that's uncounterable in Magic, right? Which is a little more elegant, but like it definitely shouldn't be fast and it shouldn't be slow. First, I guess seems right. I don't know. This is probably the best way to do it.
I could see them like thinking about how we have the cool rules of how speeds work in terms of, and like the stack works. I could foresee in the future there being spells like it's a slow spell, but it's a fast spell while your opponent has an attack token.
Right.
Things like that. I could see just them making this as a thing that they have done this early opens up the gates to things that they can do design-wise.
Yeah, and I think with this expansion, and I'm assuming the other 2 expansions that are coming in the Call of the Mountain set are they are going to feel more comfortable pushing the boundaries in terms of complexity, right? Yep. Like we talked about it since literally episode 1, where the complexity of LOR is actually pretty high for a base set, right? Like a base set and one expansion with Rising Tide. So I think that they're gonna push it further. And I mean, even Tarek himself is kind of like, just looking at him, he's kind of a wall of text already. Like,
yeah, he's got a lot more text than we're used to.
But yeah, I guess we'll just quickly. So in the gems line, we have Gift Giver, which is a 1-mana 1/2 unit. When I'm summoned, create a gem in hand. We already talked about Mountain Goat. We've got Mentor of Stones. Who is he a hamster? Like what?
I don't know, but he's got like crystally beard yordle face going on.
Yeah, he is pretty sweet. He's either like a hamster or maybe he's like I don't know what he actually is, but he looks sweet. He is a 3-mana 1/1, which is kind of uninspiring, but he supports he grants a supported ally +2/+2, which is good. And when Last Breath creates 3 gems in hand. And then we have Shards of the Mountain, which is a 4-mana slow spell, which just straight up fills your hand with gems.
Which is so cool.
Which is insane.
You play that, you play Ezreal and win.
You're thinking too small. You go Spell Drinker into Shards of the Mountain, into play them all, into play another one. I'm really excited for that. And then the other cards that we got the previous day were some more support cards. So we got Kayari the Traveler. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Support, grant my supported ally +0/+2. So like a slightly different War Chefs, I guess. Better than War Chefs in the sense that like this is better at healing your supported units than War Chefs is. I think probably overall worse, but I wish it was a 2/3, and then we have Mountain Sojourners, which is a 5-mana 2/5 support unit that grants my supported ally +2/+2. If that ally has support, also grants its supported ally +2/+2. And they did mention, and they sort of showed it in the video from today as well, is that actually just what's the right word? Promulgates? No, that's not the right word. It goes on to all of the support. Like it will chain to all of the supported units. The card that they initially revealed was actually an old version of the card. They buffed it since this version. And it actually just goes, you can continue the chain of support all the way down, which is really cool. And then the final card that they showed, or that we have that we've seen here, is the Arbiter of the Peak. Is a 10-mana 6/6 Overwhelm, and it gets its cost reduced for each time you've targeted or supported allies this game.
Yep. It's kind of like the PNZ mech bot dude.
The mech bot
Plaza Guardian.
Plaza Guardian, exactly.
What is interesting about the Mountain Sojourners and the Tyria the Traveler is it does grant those. So
never mind. That is insane. Oh, I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
Grant. Okay, yeah, no.
So it is
Oh,
quite good. It
wow.
makes support
Okay.
a lot better.
Wow, I was not. You're literally getting my live reaction. No, I did not read that as Grant. Even though I pointed it out earlier that Grant is forever, it did not click in my head that is Grant. So, yeah, no, that's insane, actually. Mountain Sojourners just does a ton now. And it's a 2/5, so it actually survives. Tyre the Traveler. Tyre the Traveler is only a 2/2, but like.
But that with like, if you open up with, like the hot Fleet Feather Tracker into this, like that's nuts.
Holy crap, that's insane.
Super Hawk.
Wow.
Or Omen Falca. Let's go.
Omen Falca. Yeah, I mean, whew. Here's the thing, like they need to push the power level of the cards a little bit, right? Because like we know, like the thing is that they put out this new set and this new region, and like the cards aren't good. It's just kind of lame, right? Like they need to be good.
Yeah.
And like
the first set, like just the most boring pack filler cards. Like,
I mean, we did get Homelands and Magic pretty early,
right? Yeah. Instead of Mount Targon, it's Mount Vanilla, and nothing has keywords.
No, everything. Well, actually, I was going to make a joke that everything has banding, but support is kind of like banding.
I was never going to bring that up. I don't want to hear that word.
Wow, we actually got it. Banding is playable in Legends of Runeterra. That's how you know it's a legendary game.
Yeah, if banding is good.
If banding is good, oh man, that's awesome. But yeah, man, I'm still like, I did not realize that it was Grant. Yeah, the Mentor of the Stones is also Grant. Oh my God, everything's so good now.
This makes support so much better, right?
Yeah, man. So far, what is your favorite? What's your favorite card or like combination or like what are you thinking off the top with these new cards?
The Mentor of the Stones, I really, really like. There's something about just the creating 3 gems. The value of that is really, really strong. Makes me want to do a bunch of stupid stuff. My favorite art is the Mountain Goat. I love that card so much. Oh, it's so good. Mountain Goat is great. I'm just gonna say the whole like graphic design and like the whole art direction for this set and region, I love. It's a great color palette and everything looks good. So that's my design nerd out of the way. Yeah, it's all like really. I mean, it's really purple and blue and teal and pink, and it's just fabulous. It's really cool. Man, the thing besides the Playful Trickster, which I'm definitely going to try out if it actually works that way, is, I mean, I'm thinking elusives already, right? Like gems, like who cares if they only grant +1/+0 if you're not blocking anyway, right? Yeah. And all the support units, it's like, yeah, if all even that, like Tyrell the Traveler, like if you're playing that with like Glenglade duos and stuff, giving them health is really, 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 really good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what's really not ironic, but like interesting about Targon and support in general is that, okay, you hear the word support in regards to like gaming and whatnot. It's like, oh, it's very defensive mechanism. It's very like healer and whatnot, and it kind of is. But also support literally only works when you're attacking. So it's not like in MOBAs, sometimes you play a support character and it's just super boring because you're just like, well, I guess I'm not going to kill units and I'm going to like farm I'm going to help my carry farm and I'm not going to attack anything. Where it's like literally to get the support mechanic to work, you have to be attacking, which is really cool. So I think even though like there's a lot of spells and whatnot that Targon is just inherently very unit focused, which is it's just fun, right? Like it's fun to attack with units. It's fun to get abilities and whatnot, and live out that dream of making a gigantic mountain goat and keep attacking. And that's my dream. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Gigantic mountain goats.
Man, the Grant thing is seriously like it's blowing my mind because I'm like, wait, Mountain Goat's a 3/1, but he just always has +2 health because he's always attacking with a supported. He's always getting supported.
Yeah.
Oh man, Emusives might have to take a back seat to the Mountain Goats and have to come up with a better name for goat aggro.
I think my first, just from what we've seen so far, I want to play, like, if I'm building something around Taric, it's going to be, and to no one's surprise, Taric Fizz.
Oh yeah.
Not just because I love Fizz, but because it actually makes sense. Like, you're getting a lot of good, like, ways to keep Fizz alive even better.
Yeah.
Like, support works pretty well with him. You got a lot of good spells. Like, Fizz works really well when you can buff him. Like, when you play him with Suit Up and, you know, all that. Like, even I was playing it with the bad give 2 allies however much health.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The stupid Freljord card. That's not back to back. It's Freljord's version.
Yeah.
Take Heart.
Yeah, Take Heart is also good.
Yeah, and Freljord gets. I mean, this is obviously different, but then like if you play this with like even with like Braum, where you're playing buffy stuff anyways, because Freljord has some pretty good buffs. Battle Fury.
Battle Fury.
I want to Tarek Battle Fury so hard.
Oh, Tarek Battle Fury. Oh my god, that's insane.
I think the grossest is going to be Tarek Overwhelm if you play Might on him.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when he's got Undying after he's leveled up. Like, pretty gross.
Oh.
Give him and someone Overwhelm and Undying. Let's go. Or Unyielding.
Yeah, Unyielding Spirit. Yeah, it's I mean, here's the thing though. We've seen what 2, 4, 6, 8. Like we've seen like a dozen cards. So like it can go a completely different direction, right? But like
the rest of the cards just don't work with it.
Yeah, there's just no. This is literally everything that goes in this. You know, theoretically, we're going to be getting more. I mean, they announced that we're going to be getting more champions. Assuming at least some of them are going to be from Targon, because it would be weird for them to release one Targon champion.
Yeah, there's one champion for Targon. This is all the Targon cards. So if you want to play Mount Targon, stuff.
It's called Call of the Mountain, and you get 12 cards.
Yeah,
that's it.
12 cards, that's it. But you can complete the collection very quickly.
That's true.
Like your Targon collection,
yeah.
Oof.
You're getting that
it's like
real
a couple
quick.
of epics.
Yeah, there's not
champion.
even if you complete half of the levels on the Targon track, you get all of the cards.
There's only 2 commons, and the rest are epics that we've seen. Yeah, we've seen 3 commons, 4 epics, and an uncommon.
Yeah,
love it. Or rare.
Yeah. Good old Mountain Goats are rare.
Yeah, I love his beard.
It's so good, and his horns, his just like gem horns, and he's got the like floating gems in there. It's so good.
As most goats do.
Yeah, and the flavor.
I love also his name is just Mountain Goat. Like nothing special or flashy.
Yeah, not like
he's got
Goat
these, like,
of the
elegant.
Yeah. Mount Targaryen Charger. Yeah, Targaryen Charger would have been a cool name, but they're like, nah, it's just called Mountain Goat.
They should at least call him Mount Targoat, something like that.
Ooh, Mount Targoat.
That should have been the expansion name.
That should have been, and every card should either be a Yordle or a goat. That's what I want.
Yep.
That's what I want.
Why don't they take our advice for marketing?
I don't know. Honestly, it seems like a pretty big mistake. The gems. I think the gems and Spell Shield are the 2 biggest like contested things, and I think I'm ready to make another bold prediction.
Oh, bring on the predicto!
Here's my bold prediction: gems will be okay. They're not going to be busted. I don't know if I'm going to call them bad, because I think a lot of times you're going to be playing. You're going to be playing the cards, like you'll be playing a Mountain Goat, or you'll be playing Mentor of the Stones, and you'll just like happen to get value gems. But I don't think the like Shards of the Mountain deck. I don't think Shards of the Mountain is just like, oh well, I've got Targon, I'm jamming 3 Shards of the Mountain and I'm going from there. Except in the first week of the expansion, because of course everyone's going to do that. I think that the gems are just okay. I I think that they're good in like you mentioned Ezreal, but like Ezreal is not made by the Ezreal deck is not like made good because you have a bunch of one cost burst spells to play all at once. Like it needs the support. Like right now, if this actually was all of Targon, Ezreal Targon wouldn't be a deck. You need the support cards, not the cards that have the keyword support. You need the cards that are actually supporting
Ezreal. The thing you're trying to do.
Yeah. And like, yes, Shards of the Mountain gives you a bunch of spells to combo off with Ezreal, but it doesn't help trigger it. Doesn't help trigger him. It's bad at literally every other point in the game in that matchup until like the turn you go off. And someone on Twitter was like, oh, well, leveled up Ezreal with 13 mana goes from 0 cards, draws the Shards of the Mountain in 1 turn, OTKs them. It's like, yeah, but how often does that, like, if you're at a point where you have leveled up Ezreal and you have no cards and you didn't win and your opponent's at 20, you're losing most matchups anyway, and you just happen to draw Shards of the Mountain. That's not actually good. Most of the time when you have leveled up Ezreal and you have if you are going into your turn with a leveled up Ezreal and 13 mana, you should win that game anyway, or have already won. Right? Like that's just not how games.
No matter what you have, like you should be good.
It's not how Ezreal games work.
I mean, how many times have you seen an Ezreal get played that's leveled up and you go, "Oh, I'm probably still alive"?
I mean, not that often. I mean, sometimes when like it's been taxed, but not like, oh, my opponent has a leveled up Ezreal and is going into their turn unscathed with 13 mana. I'm not like, well, guess I'm winning this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like regardless of, if they have no cards in their hand, I just think like it's just an unlikely situation, and I don't think Shards of the Mountain. Now, if you could cast the gems on your opponent's units, to give Ezreal triggers, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I'm a little scared because now Shards of the Mountain can actually level up Ezreal too, which is a big thing. But like as it stands, like I kind of would rather just have Chump Wump a lot of the times than Shards of the Mountain. I could be wrong, but there's my bold prediction. In Ezreal, I'll just say in Ezreal strategies, Chump Wump is going to be better than Shards of the Mountain.
I don't know. That's tough.
Don't at me.
I don't know. If I
can. It's my bold prediction. That's why it's bold.
Okay, I like it. It's bold. It is bold. So this is like I'm gonna let you guys pry into my brain for a second because this is how Saucy Mailman thinks. So deep down I know this will never happen. Even
so therefore it will happen instantly.
I want it to happen, but I know it can't in a game like this, and I understand why. Because mobile, but for other reasons. UI problems are a big reason. But there was a part of me when Captain Farron got hit. When this card, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I was gonna like have a lead up to it. So the card that fills your hands with shards or with gems. The first thing I thought was, damn, this means we'll never have you have no maximum hand size card.
Oh yeah.
And knew we would never have something like that, but they can't let that exist because that doesn't.
It breaks the game.
Yeah, but. And it makes sense, like for a digital and a mobile game, like it makes sense. You can't have no maximum hand size.
No, I want it to happen.
I know, but when I was like, oh man, oh yeah. So that was just what I was thinking.
Oh man, no,
that was
sad.
The first thing I thought. That's how my brain works. The first thing I thought was, oh man, it fills your hand. That means we can't have cards that give you no maximum hand size.
Reliquary Tower is too strong. It's just too strong.
It is.
Oh man,
how good would that be though?
I mean, I would like it because I am constantly wishing I had more hand size in a lot of matches, especially Ezreal decks.
It is a economy.
Yeah, it is a resource that needs to be navigated. But yeah, I mean, overall, just like it's cool. Like the support is just such a like. It could have just been such a throwaway ability. It's like it's kind of cool and it like means that attack order matters and it like helps newer players with that, but they could have completely dropped it and made it so that you never have to we never think about support again, or it's just like a tag on ability for war chefs or whatever, or Kato. But
yeah,
they like Mountain Sojourners really opens up the like, oh, so they're really gonna play with support here. They're not just gonna make it good. They're gonna like, you are rewarded for playing more supports. You're rewarded for chaining your supports. And that's another thing too, is that like War Chefs was always like, or like Shen, for instance, I think is the biggest one, where it's like, well, I want to give the thing to Shen, but or I want to support a unit with Shen, but it like Shen is like, it just ends with the one unit, and Shen is vulnerable. But now with like Sojourners, like you can keep the whole line. I mean, she doesn't protect herself, but you can keep the whole line, safe.
She protects her whole self with Bastion.
Except not in combat.
Nailed it.
That's the problem. Yeah, when the first time people are like, "Oh man, I got this Bastion, I'm strong," and then they have to block, they're gonna be like, "Oh, right."
I can't wait to see how many times that gets misplayed the first
Right.
couple days. It's gonna happen constantly.
It's definitely gonna happen.
It's like how we all learned about barrier and overwhelm and how those work.
How does that work?
It doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do anything. It doesn't count as one, or
No,
does
I'm
it?
talking about like when a barrier unit blocks an overwhelm unit, like the interaction where it overwhelms.
No, I don't know how that actually works.
It overwhelms.
It just overwhelms the full amount,
Minus their health total.
but it doesn't. It's not like one. It doesn't. The barrier doesn't count as one.
No.
Oh wow, you
It's
learned.
not tough.
Oh okay, you
Tough
learned.
does that.
You learn
That's
something every
annoying.
day. Yeah, you learn something new every day, chat.
Oh man, Tarek chain vest. Let's go. Get
Well,
him double tough.
he's super tough. Even
He's so tough.
so tough. But Saucy, any last thoughts and words? I know we're coming up on time here on what we've seen for Targon. Anything you're really liking and really going to want to build around with these cards?
I like the overall theme and flavor so far. Like support is something that it's been lacking in the game, and I think it's cool, but there's been no reason to play support cards
Right.
yet. So it's sweet. And I mean, we were talking about it earlier in this week. I liked in Magic playing, Bogles.
Yes.
Playing Buffy dudes. So if we get some hexproof-esque type people, I'm hoping there's one in the set.
You think
to make
people are
everyone
complaining
mad.
about Bastion? I mean, Fizz
have
is kind of
someone
like
else.
that, right?
Yeah, a little bit, and people hate him because of it.
It's true. People do hate him, but I
That's
love
why
it.
I love it.
I love it so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about it, and I think it's just gonna be, it's just cool. Like, obviously, like almost regardless of anything that gets revealed, it's just a fun time, right? For new cards and new.
Yeah.
So just like before you go on the tirades about complaining about everything, chat and Twitter and Reddit, just like take a moment to realize that this is the most fun time of the card game cycle, is when we get new stuff. Like,
Yeah. Now, I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm asking you this honestly, because I know this is going to be a thing that people like to push their glasses up and say, well, actually, about
okay,
is it Tarek or Tarek?
I thought it was Tarek, but I don't actually know.
I have no idea.
Hold on, I got a
I'm
way
sure
to check
someone will
this.
let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Tarek or Tarek champion spotlight. Now you won't be able to hear this, but chat will. And I will.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. Do you want to place your bet? Is it Tarek or Tarek?
I say Tarek.
Okay, let's see. All right, chat. We're playing the official From the Riot Games YouTube, the champion spotlight, and I'm assuming that Freak will say it right at the beginning. So let's hear. Wait for it.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Tarek.
Ooh, it is a hard A. It is Tarek.
It's Tarek.
Yeah, featuring.
I want it to be
Welcome
like
to the League of Legends
Tarek.
Champion Spotlight, featuring Tarek.
Yeah, it's Tarek. So the people who are saying Tar-Ik is wrong. It's not Tar-Yuck
Alright.
either, or Tar-ick. It is
I just know
Tair-ick.
I always got it like whenever I'd say Lucian's name, people I'd say Lucian, and people are like, it's not actually Lucian. His name's Lucian.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up.
People say Shaq or Shaco too, or no, they say Shaco, but it's actually Shaco apparently.
Yeah. Why do they gotta make these difficult names? Why can't everyone just be Ronald and Bob?
Right?
The champion of the Shadow Isles, Ronald.
Yeah.
Ronald of the Shadow Isles.
Ronald of the Shadow Isles. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I can do this. This will be cool.
I'm ready.
I am Ronald of the Shadow Isles.
Hated everything about that.
Oh, saucy. So next week when we are back, I am assuming we'll probably have some more stuff to talk about. But until then, we'll have to wait for the preview. So, Saucy, before we go, where can people find you on the internet web thing?
Yeah, if you're looking for me, you can find me on just saucymailman.com. I stream on Twitch and YouTube, just Saucy Mailman, those places, Twitter, all the stuff.
All the stuff. You can find me on the internet on Twitter at @the_Blevins. You can find the show on Twitter at Runeterrable. You can go to runeterrable.com. You can go to discord.me/Runeterrable Radio. That's the best place to find us in the show and to be a part of the show in the community. We absolutely love having you, and we have amazing discussions. We've got all sorts of different text channels for pretty much anything that you could imagine under the sun. But that is going to be it for this episode. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll be coming back next week when we've got some more stuff to talk about with Mount Targon and Legends of Runeterra in general. But until then, stick around, and I don't have an outro catchphrase, so I don't know why I was setting it up. So we're just gonna...
Until next time, Ronald of the Shadow Isles.
Until next time,
Don't complain on the internet.